Okay. We should say yes or no? Okay. So welcome. It is 12:03 on September 12th, 2019. We have a quorum, so we will get the meeting started. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
So the first item on our action agenda is the approval of the minutes from our August 1st meeting. Any questions or comments? I do. On 5, on the agenda, on the request for approval on B, it says Dr. Joanne Simmons and Mr. Jeffrey Kettemer. So it makes it sound like she and Jeffrey made the motion to approve. So we need to fix that.
Okay, on 5B.
5B. Well, she didn't have a joke. I know I'm not a drama.
So you just need to take somebody off.
If they add, right, or remove Dr. Simmons' name.
Probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that change, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Chairman, do we have a second?
A second.
Rodriguez. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is the approval of the 2019-2020 Code of Conduct. Questions? We received that on an email.
So the board has to approve the code of conduct, and we purchased the code of conduct through the Texas Charter School Association. So any updates that come out of the changes of laws are reflected. So every year we have to make the changes. And so this document is available to parents and also available to administrators in the event that there's a situation with a student. It really reflects more of the behavior of incidents.
On page 16, it says precedence result. So right there. Second paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth line, it says school board precedent. Precedence respect.
Okay. So Dennis, you have a copy of that, so you can make that edit now. Thanks.
So I'm assuming the only changes were the things that were in blue.
Yes.
Right.
So just start from the page 1, just so that we can just kind of show them the whole process.
Sorry, this takes a little while to get scrolled. There we go.
So
Okay.
go to the table contents. Okay, so basically what you can see here, that in a student code of conduct, it talks about the prohibited conduct. So in the event that we have a situation where a student's misbehaving, we would then go to the code of conduct. It talks about the investigation that's going to take place, who's going to complete the investigation. It talks about discipline in regards to students with special needs, so SPED students, types of discipline that we offer on the campus. So if a campus has a DAP, then that would be noted in your code of conduct, which we don't. It talks about detention, in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension, removal from a bus. That does remain in there, though we don't run routes. We do have buses that students utilize to go on field trips, and so there are expectations tied to that. In the event there's a sexual assault on a campus, then this would be the document that the administrator and myself would refer to, as well as the parent. And then also the expulsion process. So as a charter school, in the event we have a student that is consistently misbehaving, and we supported them through a variety of different interventions, and in the event that the behavior still continues, then the administrator can recommend expulsion. And so, but that's kind of our last option. Or in the event that a student is engaged in a Chapter 37 behavior, because we don't have a DAP, then we would then look at a recommending of an expulsion. And so this is, again, talks about everything from truancy to attendance. In the event that we have a student that's truant, then this document we reference, as well as bullying, and then the definitions to follow. So this, again, is available on the website in the event that parents have a question. And we get those, the parent will say, what other options do you have as far as the discipline? Then we would refer them to the code of conduct and show them the options that we have for the students. Any questions?
Now, any questions? Do we have a motion to approve the code of conduct?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Dr. Grant, thank you. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The next item is the campus improvement plan. So we have to look at all three campuses and districts. So we'll start with the Tyler campus improvement plan.
So this is the district improvement plan. And so as a district, we have to have a continuous improvement plan. It's something that we develop, but it is also edits are made throughout the school year. And so looking at the improvement plan, you can see that we start off by looking at our purpose, our vision and mission, and our goals. I will tell you that we are currently in the process of redoing our mission and vision statements. And so we've gone through a process. In fact, Dr. Sherman took our leadership team through a process, and then we've also worked with the teachers. And so we're getting now where we're going to compile all the different work from the different meetings and look at developing a new mission and vision statement. And so looking at that, next page. I
think we have the Tyler one. Oh, keep going.
You have the Tyler one open right now?
This is the Tyler one.
Okay.
Do I need to go to the district one?
No, keep going.
Okay.
Just keep going, because I basically just want to talk about that right there.
Here.
No, keep going down.
Down.
No.
Other way.
Right there. Stop. So looking at district goals, so within a campus improvement plan, you have to talk about your data sources. What data did you analyze to come up with your goals? And so looking at goals, you're going to look at everything from within your improvement plan, you're going to look at everything from student academic performance to student safety to professional development that you're going to commit to for your staff. You're going to look at attendance, as well as and look what else we have in there. The partnership that you're going to have within the community. So within that, if you'll go ahead and go down a little bit. Hard to work. Okay, so within a campus improvement plan, you look at the actual activities that you're going to commit to. You look at who's going to be involved in the activities, and then also the timeline, the resources, and then the process for evaluating it. And so some of this stuff carries over each year because you always want to ensure that you have a safe campus. And so, you have a safety goal, and then you talk about the things that you're doing to support safety. You always want to look at a campus that's continuing to support students' academic performance. And so you have, again, things that carry over, but then you also have new initiatives that you add to your improvement plan. So for example, this year, we were awarded the MIZ grant. It's a math blended learning grant. And so with that is now in our plan, and it talks about the activities that are required within that grant to support students performing academically. For example, officers, we have an officer in Palestine, and we have an officer in Longview, and then we work with the police department here in Tyler. And so that would be identified in our safety goal of how we are ensuring students are safe, conducting fire drills, working with the university police department, ensuring our teachers are trained in run, hide, fight training. And so all those things are identified in our plans. This year we did introduce to our staff social emotional learning, Choose Love. And that came out of from a parent and a group that the mother lost her child in the Sandy Hook shooting. And so the social emotional learning really is just to teach students to love themselves and to love all others and to make sure that your actions are aligned with that. And so it's focused on supporting mental health, the number of students that are engaging in self-harm, the number of students that have a high level of anxiety. The numbers are just increasing. And so looking at opportunities to help those students deal with some of those anger issues and frustrations. So again, that's going to be reflected in this year's plan because that's a new initiative. And so the goals of our district oftentimes stay the same. We want to provide safe and supportive environments. We want to improve students academically, but the activities depend on the school year. Questions, comments?
So the goals are the same for all the
All.
district and
All three campuses. And so in the event a specific campus does something independently, then it would be reflected in their goal and in their plan. So for example, we have after school programs for the Tyler campus and Longview campus, but in Palestine, because they're a Title I campus, their students go to the YMCA. So that's a difference of an activity that's reflected differently in the Tyler plan versus the Palestine plan. And also Palestine's a Title I campus, and so they receive Title I funds. So in order to receive those Title I funds, we have to be able to show our campus improvement plans and show where we are allocating the use of Title I money to support a particular activity. Any specific questions?
So do you put in the Palestine plan, the indicators for the Title I and all the things that they have to?
Correct. Yes, it's in the house. And it also says the resource, like you can see here that it might say local funds in the district, but in the campus on Palestine, it might say Title I funds. And then it might say MIZ grants for, certain things.
Any questions about the district or individual campus improvement plan?
Directors, do you want to speak to any of your plans?
There's many changes because ours kind of feed into the district, so there's nothing that's really different on our campus this year.
For Title I, we put the LEA plan, which is, it addresses all the factors that goes within the grant and the wrap-up piece that Christian and I work on. And we really spent Title I funds on three things: providing the after-school program during the school year for students. For a few students, we provided a summer enrichment program as well. And then for all of our Title I students this school year, we bought them a backpack, a very nice backpack with almost all of their school supplies in it. So all three of those things are addressed in the plan.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so we need to approve them individually. So we need a motion to approve the Tyler Campus Improvement Plan first.
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second? A second. All in favor of approving the Tyler CIP? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is the Longview CIP. We have a motion to approve that. Right. We have a second. Dr. Greg. All in favor? You say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Palestine CIP.
Make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a motion to approve the district campus, district improvement plan. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second? Thank All in favor of approving the district improvement plan, say aye. Any opposed? The next one is the approval of the special education operational guidelines. Did we get those?
No,
Okay.
we actually have to table this item because Nardoza didn't receive them, so she's still working on it. We were hoping that we were going to get them in time for her to make the edits, but we haven't received them.
Okay. Glad I didn't miss it.
Yeah, no.
So that's the end of our consent agenda or action items. So we have the informational items.
Yes, so the 2019 start data, so we have our start data, so Weaver's going to share that. There's this time.
Okay. I want to go ahead and give you a handout. You may have received one front. I made a little bit of an improvement to this one. It's big, otherwise it's exactly the same as the other. No, appreciate that. Sorry. Big,
Oh, this
as everyone gets to look at it, I just made one little update. I keep fiddling. At the very top, I thought, yellow and blue makes green. And so you get 70% of your top 3 grades there, and then 30% of that bottom one. Well, in all of our cases, we made our highest score in domain 1, so that one was the yellow one. So that's 70% of our grade. And then you always have to get 30% of that domain 3, no matter what. And so you do 7% of that one, 30% of that one, you get that green one, and that's the one that goes in papers and everything. So our overall grades. And y'all seen the chart before when we tried to do our predictions. We were a little bit low on our predictions. Good. We actually did better than what we thought. So just to point out some of the highlights there in domain 3. That's how you take care of all your subgroups. And to have 93 and 98, 184, one campus 100% took care of every single subgroup. There's this also had tie-in with some federal guidelines and federal consequences if you don't do these things. It has its own attachment to a whole lot of other things. So taking care of that group is a big deal. Yes.
Does that include the economically disadvantaged?
That's right. That is one of the subgroups. So the subgroups are, I didn't list them all, but in item number 5, it is the thing you kind of expect: African American, Hispanic, white. It has the ELL, or the English language learners, the special learners. It also has the ECD is the economic disadvantage. It also has a thing called continuously enrolled and non-continuously enrolled. Those are kind of interesting things to start looking at now. Those are new. We look at those to see students that have been with you for 3 years and how you're doing with them, and those that are relatively new to you, as it were, less than 3 years. So the next item is distinctions. As you move down, there's a little list of, every year you also have these opportunity to have distinctions. I'll just start right over there with Palestine. And in 2018, they had 3 distinctions. One was in PLA, other was in Science Social Studies. This year, they didn't leave anything to chance and got all 7 possible distinctions. So that's pretty amazing. Now, to get a distinction, each of these campuses could be in their own group. Palestine was in its own group of 40, and then Longview would be in a group of 40. Sometimes those overlap. It's largely dependent on your ECD population, but it's also other factors, your ELL population, things like this. And it's if you're in the top quarter, the top 25% of that 40. So it's kind of doing some apples to apples opportunity there, and then saying, okay, you got the same challenges as this group, but you're in the top 25% in these areas, like growth. The PS is post-secondary readiness. I'm sorry, I didn't spell that out. Post-secondary readiness. And closing the gaps is very similar to that domain 3 that I was talking about. And then finally, comparisons to other districts. This is just based on the district scores in Anderson County, Gregg County, and Smith County. I hope it speaks for itself there. Just listed them in their orders. I did put the district score in there, the bold score for UTTUA, the 92, the 92, 92, of course, but also look at the campus, almost as though it's its own district within that county. Because really, when you talk about small schools, many schools, they literally could stand alone as a district. So you could get an idea. And you will find, I will always include this issue of person of ECD. Is the challenge in education. Is how do schools deal with that particular challenge? You'll see the pattern here. Those that have a larger number of ECD kids have a harder time getting a grade, reaching every kid. And in that sense, we can be proud to be near the top, but in another sense, we should say we actually, would you agree with me before I finish that sentence? I've been on this theme before. We have the least economically disadvantaged, and based on the general pattern in educational needs versus educational ability to meet those needs, we should be at the top of every single one.
Any questions?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will say that our ECD numbers are continuing to increase as we begin to look at that. So we are getting up. I believe that in the future we're going to see very comparable numbers of ECD. We're continuing to get those students because again, parents are now seeing that there is an opportunity for school of choice, and that if they can just get their kid here, then that's an opportunity for their child to attend the school. And understanding the whole lottery process and everything sometimes is a little difficult for a lot of people. And then the association of understanding that truly is free. I think there's still a mindset that charter schools cost money, and because you're not a traditional ISD, that there's some money associated with that. So again, I know that we've looked at some numbers recently, and we're seeing that these numbers are only increasing.
Go ahead, one. Again, this kind of what I consider the big picture. There was this famous report in education called the Coleman Report, I think in the 60s, and the guy kind of blatantly said, you know what, the schools aren't making any difference. Basically, you get the zip code of the kid and you find out how to do it. And there's different interpretations of it. But here we are on this day, and if you look at SAT scores, they still publish SAT scores by income, direct correlation. We haven't met this challenge yet. Yet internally, Palestine, when you look at these numbers, getting close to 40% economic disadvantage, and yet proving that they can reach every single kid within there, every subgroup within there, with these resources of these types, the way we're approaching education. So this is a great opportunity to maybe show, great experiment. Can you do things educational in such a way that it diminishes the factor of students coming in with resources? It's a really proud thing to see it happening internally, and being a lab school, a university lab school, this will be your hope that you would prove this type of thing.
It's a great encouragement.
Yes.
It really is a great encouragement to our city, to I think as a district, and there's just things we can celebrate here that are just really great. I just want to point out Dr. Rutledge and the staff have really done a great job of making it happen, and that's known in the community.
Yeah.
Right? And we really are known here.
We're very fortunate to have some amazing administrators on all three campuses and teachers. And one of our charges that we set out is to look at trying to retain teachers,
Right.
Because we consistently see the mobility, the retention of teachers not be at the rate that we would like it. So I do think our new salary scale addresses that. Feedback that we've gotten from staff now that we are very competitive with other local districts, that we're going to see that retention rate increase. And so with that, then we'll be able to even be in a better position professional with our staff. And so anyway, just very, very proud of the success overall, looking back where we were 7 years ago, and then where we are today, being some of the top performing schools in the area. And then also, I still say that our numbers are not always accurate because a lot of ECD comes out of when students complete lunch forms. We don't have lunches, and so sometimes there's not a need for a student to complete a lunch form because we don't serve lunches. And so we serve breakfast, but a lot of kids don't have an interest in a breakfast. And so I believe that if we ever served lunch, that these numbers would go up drastically.
Wow.
And because out of all those schools, there's not one of them that doesn't serve lunch other than us. And so that's where those free reduced. I mean, when a parent is needing the support, that's just one factor. I do understand that, but I think that's a big factor. It's a big factor because I strongly believe we have a higher percent of students on all three campuses that would be classified as ECD. Because we look at our data shows it that we're dealing with it. We work with parents, so I think that. And that's something we're going to have to talk about in the future as we continue to grow. I'm looking at, close to 1,000 students before you know it, looking at some type of program for lunches because we currently don't have a lunch program. Definitely on our radar. Any other specific questions? Thank you, Weaver. And then again, I just want to say, thanks to all the teachers because this data is directly tied to their success in the classroom for sure. All right, so the next is the superintendent report. So the first thing is the financial update. So Chestnut has these up here.
These numbers that I'm displaying are not the final numbers because the year hasn't closed yet, and also the month of August hasn't closed. So these aren't going to be our final numbers. They will change a little bit, especially in the expenses area, and a very small amount in the revenue area. But we received $6.4 million, and we've expensed $6.4 million on the general fund and the food service funds. And then in our activity accounts, we've received $264,000 and expensed $317,000.
Any questions?
Okay.
So the next item is enrollment and attendance, and I always like to be able to show the board kind of where we're at. And so as you can see, since we last met, our enrollment has increased. And so you see Tyler at 323 students, Longview at 275, and Palsy's at 249 with a total of 847. I think the budget's still off at 835. 30 is 30. I know we played with those numbers. So looking at that, we're above the number of students that we need to meet budget. And then you can look at the attendance rates across all three campuses. So our goal is 97, and so everyone's pretty close to that. Looks like Tyler's a little lower, but overall, the school year, it's an overall average.
The budget's built up 96. The budget's built up 96.
96%. Okay. And so looking at that, I will say that we are still enrolling students into school, into the campuses. So. And then I think when I met with Rutledge this week, she said something about I think they only have one opening in K through 5. So that was, again, we added new grades and a lot of those, and we lost a lot of students with the transition from the students not having a campus. And so now they're already within just a short period of time at capacity with those grades K through 5. And we were at some point, there was conversation, will we ever fill those grades K through 3 just because of their K1. K1 and 2, and so as you can see, they're at capacity now. So, and the wait list continues to grow. So another celebration. If you look back 7 years ago, where we were at and where we are today, retention rate increases across the district with students. So we're real excited about that as well. Any questions? Okay. So, as far as campus updates, we're having a great start to the school year, continuing again to enroll students, helping, parents make the transition and students that are new to the school, making sure that they have the resources that they need, and just supporting the overall culture. We are looking at, again, utilizing the resources through Teams Love to talk a lot about the culture of learning to love yourself first and appreciate yourself. So we're spending a lot of time in trying to support students through mental health. And then, again, looking at opportunities to refine our environment of project-based learning and problem-based learning. So coaches are out in the classroom supporting those new teachers that need that support because they're new to our district, and so they're just now getting an opportunity to experience with our model. Continue to support our returning teachers, and then just the overall growth that's associated with managing the district. Our Tyler bus did arrive, so our new bus arrived, and we're still waiting on our 3 vans. So hopefully we'll have those by the end of the month. So each campus will get a brand new van. Each campus, I think, Palestine has their open house scheduled for the 25th, 24th of September, but all the other 2 campuses have already had their open house. So good turnout. Longview actually had a big event with their open house, and so it was a great turnout there as well. So a lot of great things occurring across the district, and just kids are getting back in the swing of things as well as parents. Just trying to get back into school and do what we do. So it's been a really good start to the school year for sure. Administrative updates, just again, everything's going well, and we are continuing to look at opportunities for expansion, and so we have compiled that information for Dr. Hickey to present to the provost and to look at opportunities there as we continue to have a high level of interest.
Any questions?
You are being recorded, by the
I'll
way.
When we originally opened, there was a certain percent you had to grow every year to assure a certain level of funding. What happens when you max out? I don't expect an answer, but go back and look, because that hit me the other day, that if you don't grow a certain percent each year, as a charter, there was and maybe it does say you max out at some point. I don't know, but
I think that's if you're not at capacity within your classroom.
I would just check though,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be punished for running out of space. I'm just saying there may be a regulation that you may want to just.
Okay.
You think there'd have to be a cap?
Yeah.
You would think, but they do weird things to church.
Any other questions? Things that we need to address, concerns that you've had from parents, feedback you've had from parents?
Great feedback.
Few things that we have left to do in policy, but overall,
I mean, it's amazing. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting it to flow so well, and I'm shocked. And the feedback I'm getting from parents is that they're just very excited about the new school, the new layout, and the new students that are coming in, hearing good things from their parents as well. And so these are exciting times.
well, our juniors and seniors started over at the university, and the feedback I've received from them as I've passed them, because some of them are driving and things like that, they just love the opportunity to be over at the main campus. So, we have the 3 campuses, they're each one, we have juniors and seniors at the LUC and Mathis Hall, and then here at the university. So they're enjoying that opportunity to be served at the main campus. Oh, yes. So the university just kicked off the Elevate UT Tyler. It's basically a platform for to set up opportunities for fundraising. And so, for example, if a department is wanting a specific item and that's the item's not in their budget, then they can create an Elevate Now posting where they can then receive donations. And so we're going to kick off two. The first one's going to be for here in Tyler for swing sets, and in Longview for swing sets. And so I think the goal is $15,000 for each, for us to be able to fund the swing sets. And so once it gets posted, we will send parents a link. And then at that link, they can actually go in and make a contribution. And then it gives them I think it in fact provides them a receipt that they can utilize for their taxes, so that they can, so we're gonna look at different opportunities. Another thing that we'd like to see, we'd like to cover the playgrounds because it is so hot. Just to touch the metal, it gets pretty hot, especially in August and September. And so looking at a coverage, but we will be kicking that off as well. So working with marketing as well as I think of the department that always in advancement, the advancement development, looking at opportunities for fundraising. So.
How does it work with is that individual school or is that through university?
Okay, so it channels through the university, but we actually will set it up individually.
Gotcha.
And the reason we're not doing housing right now because I know they have their own
Right.
fundraising going with some projects that they have in the works. And so right now we're gonna pilot it for Tyler and the Longview campus.
If you want to look at the website they have set up, it's elevate.utyler.edu. You can see some of the types of things that are on there right now. And so then we would just be basically adding to that list of current existing, like Dr. Rob Sherman's scholarship.
Yeah.
I did have a question.
Yes.
About the PTO.
Yes.
I was just curious what the other campuses were doing. They're on track to setting up their own organization. And I just wanted to know like the backstory a little bit about that shift.
Okay. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, I can.
Great.
The university, and I believe it says PT system rule, says that all outside organizations have to have their own bank account. So we don't have the biology club and the chess club or any of those. They're all outside activity accounts. And so the charter schools, PTO, PTA, whatever organization it's going to be, should also have an outside bank account and not run through PeopleSoft, which is our accounting system. So I have trying to work with, in fact, I've got a phone call that should come back with some of our accounting and tax experts in our College of Business saying, what's the most efficient way that they can set up a bank account without having to jump through the hoops of being a 501c3 and all of the tax returns that are required for that. Because in the end, if someone wants to make a donation, they can donate directly to UT Tyler for the swing set or for a biology microscope lab or whatever it is. So that preserves their tax write-off, if you will, their tax charitable contribution, but let the PTO handle the money for candy bar sales or for fundraisers and things like that. So I'm hoping to find an easy way to get that done. I just don't have an answer.
All right, we'll say on the taxes, if it's under 50 grand a year, it's a card. So it's
Yes.
not a big deal.
Postcard form, still have to
Yeah,
apply for it. And that could be something we could ask for one of our tax classes to maybe help with. It's a student project.
Been through it several times in the organization. It's doable.
Is the
Okay.
idea. But it is a little bit. This could be set up.
Yeah, once it's set up, you don't have to do it every year. So,
Just that postcard
Yeah.
saying you earned less than 50,000.
Let's
And
say
if you
plan to
get
be
more than
amazing-
that, funnel it directly through the university.
As I say, maybe amazing fundraisers. May surprise yourself.
You
Right.
could.
There you go.
If you
They
funnel
can
it
do better
through
and
UT Tyler.
accountants cheap for that kind of stuff.
Now, I wonder, were you guys, when we did our own internal fundraising drive, faculty and staff, were you guys in that list of options that people could choose?
yes, we requested initially, I felt like 2 years ago we weren't, and then we requested to be added to that list.
I think that would be really good.
I wonder if they're gonna use that Elevate for that campaign now.
I don't know.
Because it almost sounds like that giving page is not going to be relevant with the elevating. Yeah, I don't know. We have a meeting with the Nancy tomorrow with that elevates and that kind of stuff.
I think that Palestine has done a great job of embracing the community and the parents and looking at ways for fundraising. And so, the one thing that we'd like to look at is trying to bring that here because they, in Palestine, a shout out to them, they've raised over $200,000 and to look at enhancements to the new facility. So I think that there's some things that we could do here as well in looking at opportunities. And they have the smallest community and the smallest campus. So I think there's definitely ways that we can look at opportunities on the other two campuses as well.
Was last year, your first graduating class
Yes.
that came in? I just want to say you guys are doing an awesome job because I'm in an unusual position probably because I taught those kids at the college level, right, when they took their chemistry course. And I am seeing some of them walk around campus. And I remember them, and they're just excellent kids. And do you know what percentage of your graduating class actually transitioned
46.
to our campus?
46.
And what about college attendance overall?
Pretty much all, I think we all had all but about 4 students. But they went into the Marines, like one went to be a marine biologist. So they all, but except I think maybe a handful.
Went to inferior institutions?
Harvard.
So we are proud of our students and we're continuing to look at ways to make them better individuals. I'm so proud of the overall success of the district and to see that,
Well, I had them in a lab, and I think I had a mix of sophomores and juniors, usually at an age where it's tough to corral them, right? And I believe they behaved better than their normal. I'm sure you're proud.
well, they have been read their rocks about being on the university campus. And so we're hoping that they're going to stand out. In fact, the feedback we've gotten from professors is that, they're just amazing kids. And so we're looking at tracking our graduates. So did they actually go to college? Were they successful that first year? Because we think that is so important. Because, again, we've got to make sure that we are preparing them for that transition. And so we're hoping to even bring some of them back to talk to our juniors and seniors. We are doing work study programs. So I think we have 48 students, I think, that are going to out in the community, engaged in work study programs. So they're, working on a variety of different places. And so these kids are not only taking dual credit classes, high school classes, they're also engaging in, work study programs where they're, out in a chemistry lab or working down in a car lot or, working in a lab somewhere in the community. So, our next initiative, we're looking at an in-house internship. So with our seniors, their final semester, looking at an opportunity to place them in leadership positions within the school. So identifying some students that might want to work that are high achievers in math. So go assign them to work an hour a day with some of our students that need help in math. Maybe a student has interest in chemistry, so we're going to put them in with a chemistry teacher and be a chemistry assistant. Maybe they have interest in being an administrator one day, so have them walk with, Amy Dennis or Becky Rutledge for an hour a day every day and work with them. So we're really excited about that opportunity. We just feel like the more that we can bridge the gap between learning and reality, the better off our kids are going to be.
You're talking about while they're still high school students.
Yes. Yes. So assign them within the campus to different jobs that they can do and take on responsibility. So, all right. Any other questions?
Well, it's 4:47. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
Second.
Get that motion.
Dr. Gray? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Come on, Sheila. Oh, yeah, let's go.
We got one.